Hello movie fans, thanks so much for clicking on episode Side Flick. My name is Chris. We've got a lot of movie news to dive into here today, so let's just get started with it. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about here is one, we have an update on the Fantastic Four with the MCU and what Kevin Feige is looking for in a director. More updates with Sony's Madam Web movie as they continue to fill up the cast with very good talent. Even some continuing updates and developments with Warner Brothers and what they're doing to DC, particularly Superman. That along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave me your opinions with everything we discuss here today. But before we dive into that, I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, and that is Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietary approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Factor also offers a variety of different meal options to best suit your needs. Meals that are keto-based, calorie-smart, chef's choice, or even vegan, veggie-friendly meals. The best part about Factor is there's pretty much no prep time involved, as all meals just come pre-packaged and ready to go once you heat it up. And I gotta tell you guys, that's one of my favorite parts about Factor, is just how much time you're saving using this service. You don't have to be taking trips to the grocery store, finding out exactly what ingredients you need, then coming back home, separating it all, making your meal. All of that can take up so much of your day when, if you're running on a busy schedule, all you need is to pick out one of their delicious meals, pop it in the oven or microwave, and then just start enjoying it. So please head to go.factor75.com/3C120 and use code 3C120 to get $120 off. I think if you're someone who wants to save time or just add a little more health into your diet, Factor is exactly the service you need. So please go ahead and support them, because by supporting them, you're also supporting my channel, and that means the world. Thank you again to Factor for sponsoring today's video. But with that now out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our first story. A small little update on a movie I almost completely forgot was actually happening here is we have the Mad Max prequel titled Furiosa that has begun filming. For those of you who don't know, this will be a Mad Max prequel, particularly the one that starred Tom Hardy, where we follow Charlize Theron's character Furiosa back when she was younger. It'll star Anna Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and while I think I rather would have gotten a movie that followed up the events of Mad Max Fury Road have those two characters back, even though the behind the scenes would make that impossible, they don't like each other on set. I gotta admit, when I'm reminded of a cast like that part of this movie, this photo that Chris Hemsworth released of them actually beginning filming, thinking about all the crazy wild stunts that were done in Mad Max Fury Road, and we're gonna get a similar taste of all that again. Oh, I'm pumped to see this movie. But yeah, I just thought I'd go ahead and bring that up, let you guys know, show you the first little set photo that it started filming. What do you guys think of this Mad Max prequel Furiosa having started? A couple of interesting technical developments were also revealed to us this week, one pertaining to Netflix. There was a whole article published in the Hollywood Reporter about Netflix and the future of the company, and some of the stuff kind of surprised me. For one, they make it very clear here that Netflix is starting to hit sort of a plateau or a rut where they're not necessarily gaining any subscribers. If anything, they're losing some, and they're not seeing the same amount of viewership that they used to, and that all makes sense with the amount of other streaming services they have, all the competitors and competition. But I always blame it on Netflix just having way too much stuff on there that sometimes it's just overwhelming. And from this article, it looks like Netflix kind of agrees on that too, because they say here specifically on what changes will be made, the goal will be making the best version of something instead of cheapening out for the sake of quantity. One example they give is instead of being able to make 2 movies with $10 million, they would make 1 movie with $20 million, focusing to make that movie as good as it can be. I think Netflix right now kind of holds that reputation of just pumping out content, whether it's good or not, and hoping at least one in the 100th release will be that explosion hit that everyone seems to talk about. So having them say here, even though they're going to be making less content, they want to focus on the content they do make to be really good, that's good news for everybody. Because, like, really look at Disney Plus, which is, like, starting to become their biggest competitor, and they just have, like, 1 new show a month, 1 new thing releasing on their platform every, like, 3 weeks. While Netflix will be dropping, like, 6, 7 different projects every Friday. So we'll see if this all turns out to be true in the future and it actually works out for them. But I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about Netflix saying they're going to focus on less content, but making each new thing better than the last? More industry shakeup news that we learned about here as we continue to hear hear more developments going on at Warner Brothers that directly affect the DC branch and this whole DC shakeup we've been hearing that Discovery has been planning to kind of revitalize the brand and make it new. We recently heard that one of the chairmen who made a lot of decisions about what DC movies get made, Toby Emmerich, has stepped down, and they're currently looking for a main replacement for the DC universe. Haven't found one yet, but we did get reports saying that Todd Phillips, who made Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, is one of the people that Discovery wants to have on their side, kind of telling them what DC projects to make. Now, there was a lot of confusion with this statement and a lot of people were going crazy. This does not mean that they want Todd Phillips to be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe. If he accepts their offer or actually wants to be part of this, he's not going to be overseeing everything at DC. No. What it sounded like here from the article is that they want him as an advisor, specifically more for standalone projects like Joker. Because we heard that's part of the shakeup is DC doesn't only want to stick to a connected universe like the MCU and produce movies that all are in the same universe. They still want to make projects that are standalone, that are Elseworld, that don't connect to anything. And the person right now who's had the most successful Elseworld non-connected DC movie is Todd Phillips with the Joker. So we'll see if Todd Phillips even accepts that offer and wants to be part of that. We just continue to hear he's making Joker 2, that Warner Brothers wants Joker 2, but we don't get that much of an update on the movie. What do you guys think about some of these changes with Warner Brothers? And I guess continuing on the Warner Brothers train here, we had another development with Superman. It feels like lately that has become the biggest wishlist item for all DC fans is when are we getting another Superman movie and is it going to be with Henry Cavill? Well, we had an article here published by The Wrap who was also doing a breakdown and piece on the whole Zaslav and Discovery and Warner Brothers merger and what's going on behind the scenes to kind of shape up the company. And in this article, they do talk about Superman. An insider who works at Warner Brothers told The Wrap that Zaslav's team should cancel all Superman projects in development and start from scratch with Henry Cavill. They need to make a Superman movie if the plan is a shared universe. A Superman-led Henry Cavill needs to be the focal point. And if this is really the mindset that Zaslav's team has with going ahead and axing some of these projects, canceling things, reshaping stuff, and saying Superman by Henry Cavill needs to be a thing, why isn't it? Then my respect and excitement for this new upcoming DC universe is through the roof. Because it feels like someone is stepping into the DC chambers and having some common sense and going, look, I get it. A Black Superman story could be very powerful. It's something that a lot of people would love. But why do we have two different ones going on at the same time? A rebooted movie coming up, a Supergirl movie. It feels like they're doing everything minus giving you the most popular one, Superman Clark Kent. And this also, again, aligns with everything we've been hearing about what Discovery has been wanting to do with DC is focus on their main popular heroes before they try giving the spotlight to other lesser known characters. Like, heck, even on a little bit of side note, one of the actors that is involved with the Green Lantern HBO Max show made it very clear there's very little movement on the Green Lantern show. They have no date on when to start filming. They haven't heard anything about when to be ready. Like, it's literally just sitting on the back burner, and I'm telling you, I'm thinking that Green Lantern show is getting canceled because they would rather make that a movie before they want to make a TV show about Green Lantern. But again, this is just stuff we continue to hear from insiders, reliable sources, but things could be changing. They could decide, well, we already invested too much money in these Black Superman stories and scripts. Let's just follow through with them and then go back to Henry Cavill. I don't know. We'll find out and see, but I want to hear from you guys. You hear that this is possibly what they're wanting to do, bring Superman back, but canceling all the other Superman projects. Does that get you excited or not really? Talking really quick here about Sony's upcoming Madam Web movie. Sony, I don't know what you're doing with this movie, but I like it. And I'll take every ticket you have. They just announced a new cast member attached to this movie. Isabella Merced, who you might know for playing the live-action Dora, is now one of the people involved with Madam Web. So that gives us Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson, Celeste O'Connor, and now Isabella Merced. Sony knows how to sucker us in, and it's probably gonna work. But the part that actually has me the most excited with a lot of these talented actresses being part of the movie is we already heard from the plot that the movie will be about Madam Web seeing in to the Spider World, aka the Spider-Verse. Could all of these actresses be different versions of Spider-Man, or like Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen? That would be really insane, but I'd be so down to see that. I just thought it was worth bringing up. What do you guys think Madam Web is cooking up with this cast. Bringing us here to an update involving the MCU's Fantastic Four. I have been itching just to get more news involving this movie. I want to know more, especially after what we saw in Doctor Strange 2. And well, we did get a small little update here from a reporter who works for Deadline, deciding out of nowhere last night to tweet out a small little update on the film. Justin Kroll, the reporter, went ahead and said, "Some late night Fantastic Four directing search updates. While it's easily Marvel's top ODA, one source says don't expect it to be filled anytime soon, as they're not even close to cutting down long list of candidates. I'll be shocked if a choice is made before Labor Day." Labor Day is in September, y'all. We are currently barely in June. There's more to the update than just that, but sticking on that right there, like several months of trying to find this director, that to me kind of makes it very clear John Krasinski most likely is not then the director of the Fantastic Four. He's not going to be starring as Reed Richards, because if it was, they would have it locked in and ready to go after that Doctor Strange cameo. But I think the next part of this update is the most interesting of all, because they say, while no name has surfaced, multiple sources say while it's a large mix of candidates, Feige and company are taking a lot of shots at some big names. One source close to the process, Kevin doesn't want to oversee an entire shoot, and after not having to worry about that with Raimi, he is very game to the same outcome with this shoot. That right there should really narrow down a couple of the choices we have up and coming about who could direct the Fantastic Four. Because what they're saying there is, instead of Kevin Feige going ahead and grabbing an indie director or someone who's barely up and coming like they like to do for a lot of their projects, no, he wants someone experienced, he wants someone that knows what they're doing, so he doesn't have to babysit them throughout the filming of the movie because he's busy with so much other stuff. Like, I am still amazed the amount of workload Kevin Feige has on his shoulders and how somehow he's able to manage all of that. He's dealing with the new phases of the movie, the constant changing schedules, delays, the Disney Plus shows. He has a Star Wars movie he's also trying to make. Kevin Feige has so much to think about, and he would just love it to be able to hand the movie to a director, say, you just need to make sure these MCU connections are there, the rest of the stuff, go crazy. I think the main name that sticks out to me then whenever I heard this was Matthew Vaughn. I've always wanted Matthew Vaughn to direct a Superman movie, but if he can put his hat in the MCU, I would love him to do Fantastic Four. He did X-Men First Class and the Kingsman movies, which are all based off comic books, and in those movies they deal with a large ensemble cast. There's tons of different characters, so he has experience with working with more than one character. Plus he has a really good taste for action and visuals. He would be someone you could hand the movie over to, follows the rules of whatever MCU connections he needs to do, and just make a good movie while Kevin Feige can go focus on these other Disney Plus shows or other upcoming movies. I'm really going to want to know from you guys in the comment section what experienced director out there, whether they work directly on a superhero movie or just a big action film, do you think has enough experience for Kevin Feige to go, we need to make them an offer and see if they'd be interested in joining the MCU. But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.